how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Monster Tamer Showcase, where we check out new monster taming games. Now, today we're going to be talking about Final Stardust, a very Pokemon-inspired RPG that also takes inspiration from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Golden Sun. Now, I did want to go over the trailer, and then I want to talk about the Kickstarter preview that was launched as well. The Kickstarter is going to go live on December 1st. I want to talk about what looks cool about this game and also some of the concerns I have. So we'll start with the trailer, which definitely looks really cool. So let's jump right in. So it's pretty cool having types based off planets. If we go back to the gameplay, as you can see, and this has been stated by the developer, the game is inspired a lot by Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I like the aesthetic. It does look very similar to Pokemon, but I did ask. All the assets are made from the ground up, but yeah, like I actually think it's really cute, like the houses and stuff. So all the monsters are like they're inside the cards, and you summon them through the cards. That's kind of where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspiration sort of came from. And by the looks of it, the different cards are gonna have like different effects too. Oh, I see how it is. Okay, so they're contained in cards, but there's also other cards that you can use for effects. This guy kind of reminds me of Reshiram. The riding mechanic. So yeah, that was a Kickstarter trailer. It's looking pretty cool. I would have liked to see more monsters. There was a lot of like really cool cinematics, but we basically just saw Fenrar and the legendary Mr. Reshiram. And we saw some of his evolutions. I would have liked to see some more monsters. The riding mechanic's really cool. But obviously the footage isn't final. So anyways, we're going to head over to the Kickstarter here, and we'll talk about it. So it has a goal of 42,000 euros, because I believe he's from France. I'm pretty sure that translates out to 50,000 USD. And it's going to go live December 1st. So I'm going to go over the Kickstarter information, and then we'll talk about the backer tiers, and we'll talk about both my sort of concerns as well as my like what I like about it. So all the information will be updated soon. So obviously this isn't a final this isn't the final Kickstarter, so things could change. That's why I wanted to talk about maybe some things that could be flipped around. Who knows? Maybe Neuro will watch and take some of my advice too. But so the launch date's December 1st. So he does have a YouTube channel where he's documenting all his progress, so you guys can check that out too. So for stretch goals, he writes, I don't want the stretch goals to distract me from the main goal, finishing the game. All the extra money will be used to make the game even better and implement the features requested by the community, in other words, you. But they do have a mythical beast, which is at 100k, which is this guy. The game. Final Stardust is a story-driven monster taming JRPG. Besides all of its unique concepts, what sets it apart from other monster taming games is it heavily focuses on the story. Here are some elements among others. The protagonist can speak and is personally involved in the story. Some of the monsters can speak, for example, your partner. There's going to be voice acting, which is Japanese. Final Stardust is meant to be a mix between a video game and an anime. Oh, interesting. The monsters are called planos as they come from different planets. The no comes from the Japanese possessive particle, which that can connect to nouns like of. To avoid complicating things, plano is a short form of monster of planet or planet monster. For example, the cute purple dog comes from Jupiter. I like that idea. I mean, I love space, so that's cool. Types. There are four main types in the game: Jupiter, Mars, Venus. Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Jupiter. I think that's a typo. The type of monster that comes from Jupiter is simply Jupiter. That's how monsters are identified. This means that there will also be new rules related to the types. For now, you can think of Mercury as water and ice, Venus as a mix of ground and steel, etc. There's an elemental star for every type. You'll need to collect them all to complete the main story. Elemental stars are not just decorations, they actually grant powers that will be crucial to your progress in the game. For example, the Jupiter elemental star will allow you to teleport to different cities. That's cool. So they're basically like a hybrid between badges and key items. Sorry, and HMs. There is also an elemental master for every type. Elemental masters are people who usually spend years studying the ins and outs of specific type. They usually go to the people. They're usually the go-to people when you need to know something about a type. The elemental master is called. This elemental master is called Reza, rather. As she is the elemental master of Mercury. So I wonder if the four types is all we're gonna see in the game, or if these are just the four that they're showcasing here. I'd assume I mean we obviously we could have an Earth type, but he said that Venus is like a mixture of ground and steel. So but we could see something like Saturn or Pluto or something. But this could be it though. But yeah, characters. People of Zemdia are called elementalists. They're capable of using the powers of many elements to a certain limit/degree, many thanks to the cards called Saiments, will be introduced later. The word comes from the Japanese character Sai. Oh, Saiments, I guess that's how it's pronounced, which means ability, and the English word element. There are three main characters in the game. Mephisto. Mephisto is the protagonist, 18-year-old male. Known for his generosity, he always prioritizes himself over others. His calm nature is also what makes him so scary, as he becomes unstoppable once he is furious. Despite helping others quite often, he often makes sure that his skills are top-notch. Nefasto is the main villain, 18-year-old male, who is also the protagonist's brother. He was born with a very high IQ and is considered a genius when it comes to using digital devices. He spent his whole childhood building crazy devices that did nothing but cause chaos in the house. One day he disappeared without leaving any notice. Even though Mephisto and Nefasto are twin brothers, they're polar opposites. One wants to destroy the world and the other wants to save it, or rather, wants to stop his brother. No one knows why Nefasto has so much hate towards humans, not even Mephisto. They both mark their faces when they were born, plus and minus, and they are considered unique elementalists with hidden powers. Interesting. I like the concept of having a twin brother that's a mofo. This might seem unexpected, but Fenrar is one of the main characters in the game. He is one of few planos that can actually speak. He'll be your partner during the whole journey. Despite his look, Fenrar is one of the 5 planos gods. That's cool. While traveling to planet Earth, Fenrar lost his powers. No one knows where he came from, but he has the ability to utilize the power of the elemental stars. This allows him to retrieve some of his lost powers and transform into different forms. Based on the elemental star that you have, you'll be able to evolve Fenrar into another form of the respective type. For example, Jupiter elemental star will allow you to acquire the Jupiter form. On a side note, the mythical beast is also a planos god and will be available in the main story. Random text. Okay, so random notes. So no items in the game. Oh, interesting. Card system. Oh, so instead of standard items, you use cards. Okay, so there's not going to be any other kind of items. Makes you feel like you're fighting with your monsters. Makes the battles more dynamic and less repetitive. Language available, English and Japanese. It's going to have voice acting. I guess this is the stuff they still need to do. Oh no no okay okay. Add pixel art, portraits, and voice. Played all Pokemon games and other RPGs in Japanese. Been learning Japanese for 2 years. Talk about the dragon stretch goal. Use the trailer info. Use the GDD info. Art not fine. So this is stuff that they're gonna probably put in here. Inspiration. So I would be lying if I said that all the ideas in this game are original. I got many ideas from different games, but these are the main inspirations. Pokemon. I played this game for 20 years, and it's my favorite game until Gen 5 included. There's something about the 2D sprites that makes me like the old games more than the recent ones. I just wish they tried to keep a deep storyline like Final Fantasy, for example. Golden Sun, the best JRPG on Game Boy Advance, period. Unfortunately, no one wants to make a sequel on the Nintendo Switch. Yu-Gi-Oh! My favorite anime until 5Ds. My favorite anime, rather, until 5Ds. I just wish they did an open game inspired by Tag Force on the latest consoles. Because I don't like how these games turned out, I decided to make my own version of them. However, I can't possibly make 3 different games, since I am torn between all 3 options. I decided to combine everything into a single game and see how it goes. Well, here we are. So, no timeline, depends on Kickstarter funding. The only person that documents everything, you can check playlist here. Why Kickstarter so soon? Because one person working only, working with 30 plus freelancers, no luck involved in the project, everything planned and calculated. Launch date is brother's birthday. Okay. Okay, so that's one of the things I'm a little concerned about, and I understand why he doesn't have a time. He doesn't want to have a timeline until he gets the until he knows whether or not he gets the Kickstarter funding. That actually makes a lot of sense because if he doesn't get it, the game might not be able to happen. But I think having a timeline, if you do get the funding, like just a general timeline, might help a lot because people want to know where their money's going. Like, if I pledge to the game, how exactly is my money going to be spent, and where exactly is it gonna go in terms of like for example, if you make like the stretch goals, I know stretch goals sometimes can seem like almost like the actual goal of the project. Like sometimes you see some stretch goals and you're like, well, that looks like it should be in the main game. But it's nice to have the stretch goals because that way, if you do make extra money than the initial target, we know exactly where the money's going. Like, for example, the $100,000 stretch goal is for this monster, right? But, like, for example, with the Kindred Fate stretch goals, they kind of broke down all of the exactly where the money would go for each stretch goal. So one example, I can't remember off the top of my head, but one example was one of the stretch goals didn't really cost a lot of money, like guilds, but the next one did, which was like adding more kinfolk. So the cost sort of evens itself out depending on which stretch goal you'd hit. Whereas here, like, the beast is cool, don't get me wrong, like this thing looks sexy as fuck, but I guess people want to know like what's going to go on in between, which I'm sure will be revealed. Like these two will probably be revealed, but what's going on between to make it that price, if that makes any sense. Especially like with it being the highest stretch goal, like it should probably be something that's going to need that much money, because adding one monster to the game won't add the extra like 50K, right? Other than that, though, the game does look pretty cool, and I really like the ideas behind it, like having a really story heavy RPG with like inspiration from Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon specifically. Like I like the Yu-Gi-Oh anime too. I never watched 5Ds though, but I like the idea. I think this game is a really cool idea. I'm not sure, like, and this is just my opinion, but I'm not sure if maybe they should have waited a little longer to go for the Kickstarter, just to like establish themselves a little more, because this one does seem like it's a little less progressed than maybe it should be before going into Kickstarter. But I do understand the reasoning. Anyway, we're going to talk about risks and challenges. Even though this is my first Kickstarter, I'm used to working on long-term projects as an entrepreneur. I've also been documenting everything that I've been doing with this game so far, and will continue to do so after getting the funding. This means I'm not alone to work on the project. The community will be able to follow along. If there's any problem, we can work on it together before anything goes wrong. Most of the game design and main concepts are established already, so turning all of that into reality is the trickiest part, technical work. The funding will allow me to hire some employees that will take care of the technical aspect related to the game so that I can focus on my vision and make sure the game reaches its full potential. I've been in the creative space for almost 10 years and I hate unfinished projects more than anything else. The YouTube series is a good way to hold myself accountable, and this is why you can be sure that I won't give up no matter what happens. You will also be able to see that I am using the money that you donated on the game and not on something else. That way, I'm not running away with your donation. Yeah, so he didn't really go over risks, but yeah, like I think that's the thing people have been getting a little more worried about lately with Kickstarter. Like there's been a couple of games that I don't know if they were Kickstarter games, but there's a game I can specifically think about right now, and I don't want to call them out, but that had a Kickstarter, even had a demo, and then just went completely ghost. I'm sure some of you internet detectives can figure out which game I'm talking about, but I think that's what people are more worried about. I don't think that's going to happen here. I honestly don't. I think this is a lot of work to go to just to make a fake Kickstarter. Like I think we're good on that front, but I would like to see that I would personally like to see a little more like in-game stuff before the Kickstarter, but like I understand why he's doing it. Anyway, okay, so I want to talk about the backer goals, and like Nor said, these are not 100% final. So this is another thing I kind of wanted to talk about. I think the backer tiers are a little bit expensive. Okay, so there's the lowest tier is follower, which is €8. This comes with a high-res image pack. That's fine. $20 or more will get you the soundtrack. Now, and these are euros, don't forget, so it's probably like 25 USD. I'm not sure how much this game's going to cost, but I think I think you want to have around, like, for example, I believe the Kindred Fates $30 backer tier, like 30 US, was for the game. Right, so I don't know how much this game's gonna cost, but I like, as you can see here, the 42 euro stretch goal, or sorry, euro backer tier, is for the game, which ends up being like like $50 USD. I think that's a little bit expensive, to be quite honest. If you look at other indie titles, like even Temtem doesn't cost that much, and like you have like Kindred Fates that's gonna be a lot cheaper than that. You like there's a lot of games that are more, I guess you could say, like graphically intensive and require a larger team that costs less. So I would like to see the reasoning behind the price of the stretch. And then another one here is, so you got 84, which is for alpha access. I also think that's a little bit expensive for a pixel art alpha. Even like the Kindred Fates alpha, in my opinion, was kind of expensive, like the $100 USD. Like that's basically what this is. It's the same price. I think that's a little expensive for alpha access, to be honest. If you want a lot of people to play your game, and like I think it should be cheaper. Honestly, like even $50 is kind of a lot for an alpha, but I think 100's like a lot. Then we go up to 420, which is for your name to be mentioned in the game. I think that's a little expensive too. 840. Start your journey with the dark version of Fenrar. You also have dark versions of Fenrar's different forms. So again, this is for form stuff. I think paying $1,000 for that USD is way too expensive. Usually when you see those tiers that hit like the quad digits, that's like inserting your own art into the game, like like adding a monster, like stuff like that. That like if we go over to the I don't want to take away from this, but if we go over to the Anitons Kickstarter just to compare, since like they're both happening at the same time, but just to compare the backer goals. I gotta go to the campaign. Okay, just to compare like the prices of the backer goals. So if you want to get your wallpaper, right? If you want to get your digital wallpaper, it's $1, right? For your wallpapers and your your progress board. Whereas on this one, it's basically $8. Now okay, the high res images could have other stuff, but I'm just saying, and this €8, so it's more like $10. Then for the soundtrack, right? The soundtrack, so the $15 tier, and this is €20. This is more like $25 ish. This $15 tier comes with the official soundtrack, the progress board, digital wallpaper, the high res thing, the backer progress, all that stuff. This one comes with the soundtrack. So this one is 15, but it comes with a lot more. I'm not saying that like the backer rewards are bad or anything. I'm just saying I do think they're a little too expensive, in my opinion. So this one, this is another good example. Anitons has a $75,000 goal, and you get the game for $30. Whereas here, it looks like the game's going to cost about $50 to $55 USD. Then for 45, which is still a little bit cheaper than the €42, this is for the beta, right? So, and to be honest, like I even think beta access being at $45 is kind of a lot in my opinion. But it's within the realm of like, okay, it's a little bit on the higher side, but $45 to get access to the game early is pretty good, right? This is a sale that they're having right now. So for them, if you want to get a plushie, it's $70, right? So when you do eventually get to the alpha price, which is $100, so the alpha prices are about the same here, but you're also getting all of this previous stuff. You're getting the closed alpha, you're getting the art book, you're getting the digital whatever condom whatever, your name in the game's credit, the patronage in-game title, the plushie, the access to the beta, which I'm assuming the final Stardust will also do, and you're getting another in-game title because the game is going to have like online functionality too, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like, if they want to do alpha access at $100, I do think it's a little expensive compared to some of the other pixel art games that have had their Kickstarters. Like, we're looking at Anitons, which, to be fair, modeling in 3D and stuff has its own challenges that tend to make the games more expensive. If we want to look at, I'd use Monster Crown as a good comparison, just because I would use Coromon because they're very similar, but Monster Crown has a Kickstarter, and Coromon and Nexomon don't, because that's sort of in the vein where this game is. It's very similar to Coromon and Nexomon. But if you look at like Monster Crown, it's $10 for the game, right? It's 25 for the game and the soundtrack. If you want alpha access, actually that's a good question. Where is the alpha access here? You did okay. Oh, here you go. Yeah. So $10 gets you the alpha, beta, and the demo, and the like $10 gives you everything. So Monster Crown was definitely really nice with that. But if we go over to let's try Monster Sanctuary. Kickstarter. Monster Sanctuary. Again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it should be like oh, this isn't good or anything like that. I'm just trying to sort of give advice to the developer as well as show like what my reasoning is. I don't want people to say, oh, I'm just saying it's expensive for no reason. I'm just trying to delineate the point that it should be comparable to other sort of Kickstarters. Now, every game's going to have its own things. Like, this game has voice acting planned. It has some more stuff that's going to cost more money. I think if that's the case, that should raise the goal of the game and not the and not the back. Like, I don't think the backer tiers should be all larger because the game needs more total money. I just think the goal should be larger if that's the case, because it'll turn people off. Like, if all you get for $100 is the alpha, a digital copy of the game, and some images, people might be less likely to donate that much. Because in both Kindred Fates and Aniton's case, if you did do the alpha, you get a plushie. And in Kindred Fates' case, if you didn't want the plushie and just wanted to get the alpha, it's $55, right? Okay, so Monster Sanctuary, for $15, you get the game. For $25, you get the beta access. Do they have alpha? I don't even think they had an alpha. Yeah, they don't have alpha access anywhere. Okay, so they just had beta access. But that's my point. So that's my only concern is I think the backer tiers are a little bit expensive. But other than that, like I think the game looks really cool. I think that the fact that Nor is freelancing a lot of the stuff could be good or could be bad. It all depends on whether or not like things stay consistent. Because if you have a lot of people, different people working on something, you might end up seeing like graphical inconsistencies and stuff like that. I'm not too worried about that. It would be nice to see maybe him like create a team just for a little more assurance that the game will do well. But I do think the game is pretty cool. If you do want to check out their Kickstarter, the Kickstarter preview, I will leave it linked in the description as well as the trailer. And you can check out Nor's YouTube channel as well, where he's sort of documenting his progress. But yeah, this was a a little bit of a longer Monster Tamer showcase, but I did want to talk about these things before the Kickstarter goes live because I think I do want to see the game succeed, and I think if the backer tiers are a little too expensive, that might hurt the game's chances of getting the appropriate funding. Like, especially we just had the Chain Monsters Kickstarter go live. Now the Anitons one is live, and then after the Anitons one goes, this one's going to start. So Nor has to fight against like the fact that people just pledged to 2 other monster taming games. So I do think that if we want to see this game succeed, we might have to see those backer tiers reduced quite substantially. Or at least stuff added in between, which, like he said, this isn't final, so we could definitely see that stuff change. But anyways, with all that being said, definitely check it out. Check out the trailer for yourselves if you'd like. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more Monster Tamer content. Follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd. Check out my subscriber Discord. All links in the description. Until next time, peace.